Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Te First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Absolute pleasure to have you along today. Okay, just a couple of things that I actually wanted to mention was that something popped up on my feed today, a meme that was quite interesting, especially in regards to the win-win video I did yesterday, and it was just a quote that said, "Hatred is the coward's revenge for being intimidated." And it actually got me thinking about the win-win that I was talking about yesterday, and the fact that I personally have moved from a win-lose attitude 20, 30 years ago to win-win. And that win-lose attitude came from being in a relationship with a overbearing narcissist and my own insecurity. So for me, it was insecurity, as I think about it, insecurity that caused me to try and undermine and to gossip and to be petty. And it tied in very nicely with hatred is the coward's revenge for being intimidated. So, yeah, this win-lose, this need to someone else to lose for myself to win does come from a insecurity, from a cowardly, from a feeling intimidated. Therefore, I have to conquer and dominate attitude. So I just found that really interesting and just wanted to share it. Okay, what I'm going to have a look in this particular reading is I want to have a look at Trump's dementia. I'm actually going to take this afternoon off, one more sleep to go, this afternoon off, and I'm actually going to take tomorrow off. There are a lot of fabulous readers doing live shows tomorrow with the election. I will leave it to them. I'm just going to take some time out tomorrow and just sit in really, really positive energy, probably go for a long walk, take my mum in for her appointment for another get those neutrophils going needle, and just totally chill. So, interestingly enough, I've noticed on the local media here, the free-to-air media, the television in New Zealand, and I imagine exactly the same in Australia. What I've actually found really interesting looking at it is that the news seems to give a ratio about twice as much airtime to Trump as it does to Harris. So I found that quite interesting. We're talking about corporate media here. So therefore owned and paid for by all of about 9 squillionaires around the world. And I also noticed that in the online media, that very often has Trump on the left-hand side of an image and, on the left-hand side of the article when they've got the side-by-side images, and Harris on the right-hand side. So again, having the image of Trump in what would historically be considered the dominant position. So it's very interesting while I was looking at that. So I do want to actually have a look today. Actually, I might do that first. The media. I'm using my Trip and Wake Tarot, and I'm going to have a look at the media. The media after. Bought and paid for and finding themselves exposed. This is the same media that knocked back Michael Wolff with his Epstein tapes and photographs. However, Michael, I do understand that, but I'm just going to say there are a lot of outlets. Midas Touch springs to mind, and that ilk, the Midas Touch ilk, what is it, the Lincoln Project, etc., they would have absolutely, absolutely embraced the message that had to come forward. They would, and I think to a degree they are feeling betrayed that they weren't approached. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look while I'm here. The media after the Trump win. Show me the mainstream media. The mainstream media after the Trump loss. Sorry, I shall correct myself there. After the Trump loss. So I'll shuffle again. Show me the mainstream media after the Trump loss. What's going to be the attitude of the mainstream media? Reminding you that Trump will declare victory early, remembering that smaller rural areas get counted first because there's couple of hundred, maybe a couple of thousand votes, not tens of thousands. And he did it at the last two elections. It's modus operandi. So just be aware he will declare early victory. So show me the attitude of corporate media after the Trump loss, the Harris win. Show me the attitude of corporate media. I just get they are going to play ad nauseum the court cases. I would just suggest turning it off. Show me. Show me. You want that one on top. Okay. Come on down. Let's have a look. Sorry, 5 minutes of waffle there. And I didn't even mention the 4.9 earthquake we had yesterday, where we went back and forth and side to side. That was fun and games. Yeah, the Eight of Cups, it fell out while I was reading. Yay, people just are walking away from mainstream media. I've noticed on the free-to-air mainstream media here in New Zealand that they fill a lot of the advertising time, and I'm talking about a lot of the advertising time, with promotions for other programs on their channels or available on their streaming. There seems to be a really distinct lack of advertising on the mainstream free-to-air media. Really lack of advertising. Banks, mobile phone companies, who else am I seeing? Cars, but not as much. So, yeah, it's really interesting. People are walking away from this mainstream media. Yeah, the message that they have been putting out there is just chaotically burdened. They're going to be shown to be wrong. They're going to try and bring order to their messaging, but it's going to be an end to a lot of this mainstream media because their challenge was that they were barking at the moon. They were being falling into this lunacy as they were going along this path that they were going. They weren't taking note of the two pillars of wisdom of fair play. Interesting enough, Trump apparently attacked Saturday Night Live. Is it called Saturday Night Live? Because they had Harris on, so they gave him, okay, Harris was on for 2 minutes, so they gave him a 2 minute slot as well. Which they aren't actually, they're not obliged to do. Yeah, so they've not been doing fair and balanced. They're not being invoking their pillars of wisdom. It's a bit like, sorry, with the Saturday Night Live thing with Trump suing, was it CNN that has 60 Minutes because Harris did a 60 Minutes interview, so he's suing them because of the 60 Minutes interview. This is the guy who rejected having a 60 Minutes interview, so hasn't got a leg to stand on there. But yeah, the mainstream media, their challenge was they were just howling at the moon, not taking notice of fair and balanced in the wisdom. They were just playing on the toxicity of the emotions. At the foundation, it was all about money, holding on to money, trying to attract money. In the past, we've got the hidden agenda here. And the hidden agenda was to try and get Trump into the White House. So I'll just leave that there. In the past, crowning the reading, the world. They are being exposed for their reporting, and it's bringing an end to the cycle of mainstream media as we know it. We've got the voters speaking loud and clear in the immediate future. Externally, the mainstream media found itself tied to the toxicity and addiction of the devil energy. And this is about clickbaits on speculation, trying to get the scoop out first without actually having the facts. The mainstream media found itself. This is also about coming together in unity, but in the immediate future. But the here and now, the external, is that they've tied themselves, they've found themselves addicted to the war and to the crazy and to the just what this lunacy. Okay, internally, they're going to have a bit of a reflection and look at things differently. Absolutely. Internally, they're being pulled up and having to look at things differently. The hope and fear, the advertisers are very possibly not there anymore. I'm feeling this is money. The money is not coming in anymore. Absolutely. The truth is going to bring the downfall. There is going to be a new beginning, a new youthful invigoration. I wouldn't, gosh, does anyone under 30 watch the mainstream media news? This is about the youth bringing forward the truth, and then we've got the sword of truth here. End of a legacy cycle, and then we've got this new moderate, calm, balanced energy coming in due to a collective awakening and judgment that brings about the mainstream media finding itself fully exposed for its foolishness, literally walking off the cliff. A lot of anxiety due to within those that are in the mainstream media, and they are at a decision-making point where they have allowed themselves to be blindfolded and seduced by the swamp. And this is about a choice to go back to the simplicity of what of the past, where they are gifting to their viewers rather than ramming it down their throats. And yeah, comes with the ending of the Emperor, but also an ending of this cycle of addiction to sensationalism. It's going to feel unexpected to those that are in mainstream media, but it's not to the rest of us. And then we've got some boundaries being set up. Do not be surprised if there's some more regulation that comes through. They let the genie out of the bottle. They're finding the message that they were bringing forward is just not working for them anymore. We've got Harris. They're going to have to really have a good look at themselves. So the Harris election, they're going to have to have a good look at themselves. It's going to be a destruction of what was so that it can be rebuilt. So I think we are going to see a real change in how in mainstream media. They won't switch over without a fight because they've been addicted to the chaos and the sensationalism and the get the story out first without checking whether it's true or not. There may be some boundaries put up. It might be a case of that they will be, I'm getting a feeling they'll be warned that they need to self-regulate. And if they can't, then regulation will come in. So, but do expect there's going to be this being being wounded, being forced to retreat, being forced to contemplate their actions, and they are at a crossroads. So nothing terribly exciting there. That's just where they took me. So I shall talk to you shortly. Looking forward to a change in media attitude. Love to you all. Bye.